Top of the morning again to you. If you're plugged into your radio experience, you can count on you're in the right place. This morning on Eagles Outlook, let's talk. Let's talk. It's Have Your Say Thursday on the program. And the simple question is, with the fuel price hike, how are you coping? How are you coping with the fuel price hike? President Tinubu says it's a temporal pain that we almost endure. As it is, many other Nigerians are saying, look, don't tell us that. Cut the cost of governance. Let's not have a situation where some Nigerians, or most Nigerians, are going through difficult times and going through the pain of subsidy removal and subsequent price hikes in the price of fuel that is affecting the cost of every other thing, with inflation jumping up several years higher in places like in the UK and South Africa. Inflation is slowing down, even though these guys didn't even before now ever have a double-digit inflation. In South Africa, inflation is slowed to about 5.7%. In the UK, I think inflation had slowed to about 7%, which is what people are saying. Look, this is good in the UK, but in Nigeria, it doesn't seem like it's going away. Before now, we've hinged everything on COVID-19 and the Russia-Ukraine war, but apparently it's not the case. We said, the inflation is going up across the world. People told us inflation is going up across the world, and so Nigeria would not be an exception. But in this case, we see a situation where Nigeria's inflation, the official numbers by the National Bureau of Statistics says 22.7%. Many Nigerians do not even agree. Economists do not agree that that's the true reflection of the inflation figures in the country. Because if you bought stuff in the first week of June or July, the first week of July, as of today, the price of such commodities have changed. In the first week of July, a regular loaf of bread was about 800 or 900 naira. 800, 900 naira, but today it's between 1,000 naira to 1,200 naira in some cases. So it means that the inflation has gone up more than it is. Now the NBS is defending itself and saying, the inflation figures does not cover the whole of June. It's just the first 2 weeks of June. And everybody's saying that doesn't make sense. If you're giving us figures for the month of June, you should give us the entire month, not 2 weeks. 2 weeks in the month of June. It doesn't make. So when are you going to give us the remaining part of the June? Are you going to say that the inflation figures for June will be served in July again, or the second half of the inflation figures will be served in July? Does it make sense? All of this we'll be talking about. Now, looking at this situation where it seems like there's no average class anymore. There's no middle class. It's either you're extremely poor, it's either you're poor or you're very rich. Okay? Because, the people who used to, the people who used to drive now, are working. Those who used to be able to, maybe even pay for cabs to go to work, some of them are resigning from those jobs because what they earn, or the transportation now, is more than what they earn. So what's the point going to work if I'm going there and at the end of the month my transportation is bigger, maybe 2 times my salary, or even something like that? So a lot of people are voluntarily resigning, leaving their jobs because they can't even afford to get to work anymore. Those who used to drive to work now take bikes or cabs or taxis or even buses to work, and some of them work for hours, taken away from the productivity or productive time or productive hours of work. So a person who, for instance, works from AYA to his workplace, or walks from Maraba to, somewhere in 2 kilometers before he gets a cab because he's trying to reduce, the cost of transportation. When they get to work, how productive do you think they would be? All of this is telling on the economy. We're gradually destroying the economy as it is. And you say, the market forces controlling or determining the price of fuel, and that translating to more Nigerians suffering. Now, recall that in 2016, the Buhari administration had removed subsidy. For a whole year, they were not paying subsidy. Guess what? Prices of the commodity went up, and they felt, look, we cannot allow this burden on Nigerians, and so they had to begin to pay the subsidy again, as they claimed. What's going to happen? Would the Tinubu administration be able to watch Nigerians pay for PMS at 1,000 naira per liter? Because in some parts of the country today, PMS is selling for 700 naira per liter. And according to the market forces, if the international price of crude goes up, according to the maths that they give us, the formula that they put forward, if the international price of crude goes up, Nigerians may have to pay more for PMS. If the forex rates go up, or the exchange rate goes up further, Nigerians may have to pay more. This morning, we got reports that some independent marketers, the vessels with PMS, have arrived the country, and so there might be some competition in the market. But in a situation where these so-called associations or these marketers, including the NNPC, form associations and they fix prices of PMS, would there ever be a competition? When they all come together to agree, okay, this is how much we are going to sell, would there ever be competition that would drive the prices lower? We know how the market is in this country. When prices of things go up, they hardly ever come down, because those who are profiting from it, no matter the price, no matter how cheap they buy it, would want to maximize profits at the detriment of all the Nigerians. Again, another aspect of this would be a situation where the average Nigerian is suffering, and those who are saying make sacrifices are not cutting down on anything. We're not seeing them say, look, we're giving up these allowances or this and this and that, or we're not going to be driving cars. I mean, I saw a video of the president of the Senate arriving for work, and you needed to see the cars. You needed to see the convoy and all of that. They're not saying we're cutting down on the number of cars in our fleets, or the number of we're cutting down on the number of aids that we're paying, or they're not cutting down on anything. They're not reducing anything. Their lifestyle remains the same. But many Nigerians today cannot even afford a meal. Many Nigerians cannot afford to transport themselves. If you're a boss anywhere that you work, in the last couple of days, you must have experienced your staff one way or another asking you, that's if you're a good boss though, asking you for transportation or something, because they're really going through hell. Yourself, it's not like things are going well for you, or you're happy, or you're making money, or getting any extra pay, but you have to look upon them with compassion, and maybe try to find ways to help them get home. Some of them come to work and they are unable to get home. Some of them in the morning, they can't even get to work. They have to borrow from neighbors just to get to work. Some of them sleep on an empty stomach just to get to work the next day. At the National Assembly, the House of Representatives says they want to investigate. They want to investigate the price hike in fuel, in PMS. Is it their job? Do they have what can they do? Is it in the jurisdiction to, well, after investigating, what next? What would happen? Would you mandate the marketers to go back or rescind the prices or change the prices? It doesn't really make sense. Let's see a situation where the monies saved from the so-called subsidy removal is used to fix refineries in this country, to actually get the problem solved, not throwing monies in people's pockets and telling us, throwing monies to people who do not need them. Actually, because when they say they're sending monies to the poor Nigerians, We've opened the phone lines on radio and on TV and so many other platforms, and the media has tried to investigate who are these people who have been collecting monies. And hardly would you see anyone who says, "Oh, I know somebody who has been collecting 5,000 naira under the Buhari administration." So rather than do that, why not? Why don't we find ways to actually solve the problem? Solve the problem, not the symptoms. Nigerians are bleeding today or financially hemorrhaging because the fuel prices have gone up. It's not because they cannot survive, they cannot feed themselves, or because they don't earn money. So giving them monies or claiming to give Nigerians money would not solve the problem. That's only a symptom. That's a symptom of the problem. The fact that more Nigerians are getting into poverty. The actual problem is the fact that we do not refine products in this country. We do not refine PMS in this country. We're buying PMS in dollars, even though the same crude that we sell is supposed to be our biggest foreign exchange earner. So we buy in dollars, we sell the crude in dollars and also buy PMS in dollars. What sense does it make? So the money comes in one way and goes out the other. How can we ever fix the economy of the country? Why don't we have a situation where crude oil is refined in this country and Nigerians, the marketers, buy in Naira and sell in Naira to give some strength to the dollar, or to the Naira, to strengthen the Naira a little? Why can't we have our leaders make visible sacrifices that we can see and appreciate? Again, back to the question this morning. With the fuel price hike, how are you coping? Reporters have gone out this morning and they're reporting that the roads are scanty. Few cars, many people have to walk wait at the bus stops to get vehicles because even the taxi drivers, some of them are not coming out. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave us as a people? The basic question this morning: how have you been coping? Join the conversation. Talk to me. 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. That is 090-7353-0044 and 090-8766-8888. You can send SMS and WhatsApp messages to 090-9705-4450. That is 090-9705-4450. It's Have Your Say Thursday. Let's get talking. Now, the funniest part is the Consumer Protection Council saying that they're going to investigate and sanction traders. Interesting. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Udokama.
Yeah, Udokama morning.
Udokama, talk to me. How have you been coping since the new price regime?
In fact, I have told you before that immediately the fuel price rise to 540, I try to manage myself within 1 week with my car. So I found out that I cannot cope. I have to pack it.
So you packed your car even before this new price?
I've done the mathematics and I cannot cope now.
Wahala. So have you been moving around?
In fact, I have also encouraged myself that I will not die before my time. That is my decision. If the government tries to frustrate me, it should be my duty to encourage myself.
Well, Udokama, I know you're a businessman. How has business been, and how do you move your goods now that you don't drive?
It's funny. If you understand the way we run our life now, you will pity us as a business man. Honestly speaking, for me to come all the way from my house to my business premises, I have to spend like 800, 1,000 naira doing back the same thing. But it's cheaper to me that when I have to drive to the station and buy 8,000 naira fuel. Go and come back the fuel is finished. So I choose to manage my life that way. That is the best I can do. But even actually, what is the need of working if my work cannot provide my needs? Is there any need? That I should be going to work. At the end of the day, I cannot be able to buy food for myself, also to buy for my family. Is there any need for me to be righteous and after everything I go to hellfire? Is there any need? Is it not better I become so evil or corrupt? No, on the last day I will know that I committed actually the evil that I'm being facing the charge of. See, how can government say they want to fight corruption? And actually they are putting people on the system that will make them to commit evil and continue to practice corruption. Now, if you are a salary earner, you are earning 30,000 or let's say even 100,000 naira, and at the end of the month you spend like 70,000 naira for all the transport, how will you be able to feed your family? Just for you, you have not spent for your children, you have not spent for your wife. Just only for you, your transport have clocked 70,000 naira at the end of the month, and the government said that it should be living upright, that it should be doing things accordingly. I think this government are also encouraging corruption. With the way they are practicing things now, corruption is going to be more, because whatever I see that will help me, no matter how good it is or bad it is, in as far as it's going to help me at that moment, I will do it. Okay, look at us now. I buy books almost every week, but it's not the price I bought yesterday I will buy today. Even as a businessman, I don't know how much it costs now in where I buy. So how will you survive? And I ask you a question in the morning. I say, financial, that hotel refinery, which government are beckoning on, when is it going to work? They commissioned that refinery. And to the best of my knowledge, whatever you are commissioning is something that is going to be working immediately. After commissioning that thing, that is supposed to be working. Why is it that the Buhari administration commissioned that hotel refinery, and they said that it's going to work from June, and to this very date, it has not started working? Are they not telling us something else?
Odokama, they said they was going to start working by July and maybe August, maybe early August. So let's keep our fingers crossed. July is almost out. Maybe by the end of August, then we can start to ask again.
Okay, Ivanacho, that hotel refinery may work July or August or even September. What are the one that have been promising us since last year? I made a comment in the morning. I said, those 8,000 naira they want to share to household, let them hold that money to themselves. If they want to be sincere, let them use that money on our refinery. I don't see reason why they will carry crude and they bring back petrol. Who are those benefiting the less? Right, who are those getting the profit from the other side?
Odokama was spoken for too long. Thank you very much. Now, the other thing that surprises most Nigerians is the report of the savings from subsidy payments that would be shared amongst the federal government and state governments and even local governments. We're hearing that about 1.6 trillion naira would be shared as federal allocation or federal allocations to states and local governments as well as federal governments. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Prince. Good morning.
Welcome to you, Moses.
Yeah, this Moses. Yeah, I saw when you are making some analysis on these challenges that this country is facing. See, I think we are the one harming ourselves as the issue of corruption is concerned. I don't see how money will be borrowed from outside and money borrowed will be shared. How will you settle this big problem on the ground? You raise an issue. I was looking at your analysis and the information you are giving us through this media. And those analyses are the reality on the ground. One thing I want to recommend is that with the current situation going on, everybody's affected. Except if they are not buying fuel. PMS, as I said this morning, PMS, immediately you touch PMS, is affecting the whole system of the economy. That is one thing we should know. when you touch PMS, even groundnut sellers, they will increase. Nothing will go well if you dare touch PMS. So government should look beyond petroleum. There are other resources that God has given unto us that they can have focus and divert from this so-called oil. What of nations that they don't have oil? I make a reference and I discover that countries that have oil, they are rich. Their citizens, ordinary citizens of their country enjoy. But why our own oil become a cause that make people to suffer? Look at many people park their vehicles, trekking on the ground, a nation that's been blessed with crude oil, a nation that is being blessed with many resources. So they should look at the issue you raised this morning, which I was listening to you. Cut down their own, they should cut down their own cost of expenses. That is it. Right. Then if they themselves they are buying the fuel, I think they will also know the suffering of it because they want us to suffer. When Buhari came in, his first target was that he will put these refineries in order. That is what we are saying. He couldn't do it till 8 years complete. And the same, another administration again, depend on importation of fuel. This is what is killing us. So they cut down issues to be reconsidered, and we should go beyond this oil kind of a thing and look at other source of income that will bring this nation to the situation we are now going through. Okay. Then the food crisis. I want to suggest that our borders should be open. Oh. Let us begin to have food from outside.
Okay.
Because what they are telling us will not even save the situation on the ground.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Moses. And, well, just to inform you, the president and the vice president, as well as the president of the Senate and other governors, the National Economic Council, would be meeting today. Getting to 2 months since the subsidy removal and a second, price increase, we still do not have the palliatives put on ground to ensure that Nigerians do not continue to suffer. This was something that would have been done way earlier, way before the subsidy removal was announced. We put those things in place, but we're just still meeting now. So at what point would the palliatives actually be implemented? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Welcome.
This is Mr. Mesoma calling from Kuba.
Mr. Mesoma, good to have you.
Yeah, good to welcome. Well, this topic of this morning, it's not the small thing, because let me say the whole thing is affecting us when we use. Because let me use myself as an example. I was working in Kuba. Can you imagine from day to Kuba? It's 1,000 per transport. I was collecting 30,000 as a salary. So going to work every day, I said that it is calculated going and coming every day. I spent 2,000 while I'm making 30,000 as a month. So what does the government want us to have? How do they want us to survive? And most honestly, the worst is that we are just complaining on radio. They don't even care. Most of them, their family as well in the nation. They put their family out of the Nigeria we are here suffering. And talking this on radio, they don't even take anything. They don't even give us a listening.
Wait, Mr. Misoma, so, I have a question, please. How do you pay 1,000 from Kubwa to Day or Day to Kubwa? How does that work?
From Day to Arab here is 300. From 300 to that to my office is 600. Change gate. So when I come now, I'm spending 1,200.
And your salary is 30,000.
When I come now, I'm 30,000. So what don't want people to do? Especially where do you? Because me, I'm a kind of guy, but I don't do, and I know that some youth like me, they don't need to look at any bad thing to do in order to eat. I'm just a single person. I'm suffering like this. Imagine someone that's married with children, a wife, and all that. How are they going to cope? And what is putting me back me most, the government does not even care. They don't fucking care. That is the fact.
Please mind the language on radio, please. I have to let you go. But that's a very, very difficult situation that many Nigerians have found themselves. I was talking about it earlier, and it's quite disheartening. We already have as a 2019 or so, or 2020, was it 2021? The last MBS reports on unemployment. It's been like 3 years now. Uh, the numbers was about 33% unemployment rate in a situation where people now have to resign on their own. Even those who have jobs have to quit their jobs because, I mean, it's no longer feasible to continue to go to those workplaces that pays you a certain amount. Meanwhile, your transportation is way beyond what you're paid. What happens if these people are breadwinners of their families? What happens to those families? It's a really, really, really disheartening situation, and something needs to be done and done pretty fast. Let's do it as quick as possible. Hello, good morning.
Hello, my friend. Good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm okay. The question, Paul, is how have you been coping since the new price regime or for PMS?
My friend, you can hear from my voice. My voice is heavy this morning. Quite heavy. I just analyze my salary just like other callers have said. I just look at it as a government, as a civil servant. My salary alone is going into fuel. Now, I bought full tank of fuel, 50,000, 30,200 and something, which ordinarily is supposed to take me for the whole month. I'm buying it for this. This one might run for me for like 1 or 2 weeks. And my location is at, you know where we are. My location is around Kurudu, Agdi. Leaving Kurudu Agdi to the airport like every day. Just imagine what I'm going through. There's no quarter. There's no official card like policy to compare us to our offices. And then at the end of the day, I work and I will work and work and work till when they ask me to close. Look at what we are going through now. Everybody is just demoralized. You know the problem I have now, my friend. This government will come. They will assemble economic teams. I remember the last administration had most of their own economic advisors were from the academia, and we still went through that. We are still coming up to another one. None of these economic advisors that have been teaching, some of them from the academia, have been teaching about some of the sectors that are like the big sectors that when you transform, it trickle down, it improves the economy. Which, when you look at this fuel subsidy removal, the multiplier effect, the consequences is very severe on us. Now, when you transform this sector, the positive result will be seen immediately. Now, these policies are being implemented without shock absorbers, without alternatives. That's why we are feeling those things. There are no alternatives. There was this man you brought yesterday on your show. I forgot his name. His analysis, I was not enjoying. I tried to call, I couldn't get through. Okay. I enjoyed his analysis.
Yes.
When you want to implement policy, put in the policy first. Then go around, check the sectors that that will be the drivers. When you check the sectors that are the drivers, now look at the multiplier effect first on the people. Now, when you implement that policy, you monitor it. But once they pronounce these policies implemented, nobody monitors it to get a feedback and change and reject it for better performance. That's what we're suffering for this time around. And you make pronouncements without making alternatives. Now you can't go back to that alternative. What you are trying to bring now is cash. You are borrowing cash to spend on consumption. You are not borrowing to spend on maybe things that we produce, we make profit or bring dividends. I don't even understand. And we have when you see, my prince, honestly speaking, when you see these people coming from the presidency that are economic advisor to analyze the sector, you feel like stoning them. God forbid. You feel like stoning them. They seem to know everything. And they condemn most of the agencies. You are there. You are condemning. You are not advising the person who is taking the decision, who is pronouncing the decision. And then you are blaming these drivers. You that is doing a bad economic policy, you are Oh, this thing is very annoying. It is very annoying. And they are not doing anything.
Paul, thank you very much for calling.
They are sharing subsidy. By the time they finish, we'll now see what the local government will turn out to be, the state government will do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. The conversation continues. Keep it here on your radio experience. You can count on. By the way, colleges of education, the unions have advised or directed their members to go to work twice a day. So if your child attends a college of education, they may be taking lectures just once or twice, rather, a week. They're going to be, if they're working for twice a week just because they can't get around to get to work, then it means that the educational sector would suffer. Imagine graduating a group of people who took lectures twice a week, and those people would become teachers who are going to teach other people. Anyway, stay with us on your radio experience. You can count on.
102.3 Abuja. Ultimate voiceover bootcamp experience in Abuja. Voiceover bootcamp. Nigerian voice actor Charles Alade, Peter Baker from the UK, Soibi Simpson, Quincy Son, and Hussein Amiri from Bahrain. Learn everything from scripting for voiceovers and radio ads to voiceover techniques, recording, and mixing of voiceovers. Plus, receive certificate of completion to add to your portfolio. Take advantage of our early bird special for just 30,000 naira, which closes July 8th. Late registration 50,000 naira. Date July 29th, 2023. Venue The Bunker, number 3 at Barra Street, Wuse, Abuja. Time 9 a.m. prompt. Sign up now. For more information, call 0815-863-9668 or 0813-935-9882. Voiceover Bootcamp. Raising dynamic voices.
Hello there. Something good has just landed in Nigeria. Are you an entrepreneur, a business owner, a banker, a civil servant, a graduate, or even a doctor? Members of the public who wants to earn, who wants to make money, can now partner with this great eagle that just landed in Nigeria. Yes, this eagle is a company that is willing to change your life. Trust me, it's a company that when you partner with, you earn commissions, you buy product very cheaply, and also earn in 6 other ways. That sounds great, right? This company is here to give you a platform to rise financially. Our company CEO and COO are ready to help you in the journey to financial freedom. You are invited this Saturday. Attend this event to learn how to earn daily and weekly. With this company, you also get travel incentives and car incentives. Indeed, this is a life-changing business opportunity, and this company has provided individuals with food, new houses, new cars, and opportunity to travel overseas with all expenses paid by the company. Come this Saturday and you will not regret attending this event. For all you business lovers, the venue is Sheraton Hotels. Date is this Saturday. For seat reservation, please text your name to 080-266-00888. 080-266-00888.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Eagles 102.3, your radio experience you can count on. We're talking this morning about the new pricing for PMS and how we're coping. All right, how have you been coping since the new prices of fuel were announced and the attendant rises in prices of other commodities? How have you been able to deal with this in the last couple of days? Talk to me, 090-7353-0044. Good morning.
That is Ike Chukwuwo Jego calling from Airport.
Ike Chukwuwo Jego, I hope you still have ego.
My brother. How's the work?
Work is good. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead, talk to me.
If I'm not sure,
You know, say since Buhari regime, everybody has been complaining. All the whole Nigerians have been complaining. This is not the time of complaining. This is the time of to change the system. Like everybody learn how to do good. If you're a police officer, stand for good. If you're a judge, stand for the right thing. Whatever you are in the citizen of this country, stand for the right thing. This is not the time to complain. We have been complaining since the regime of Buhari now, nothing has changed. So it's the time we take action. What is that action we are going to take? Is to stand for the right thing in this country. Even when I look at this country, I don't see any fault. This country on its own don't have problems. But why is it that because the bad system that is controlling the country. That is what makes it things like this. Let us all stop complaining. Complaining cannot solve problems. It cannot solve our problem. Let us think to that right thing. And when everybody stands to do the right thing, you see this country will be better than Americans. It will be better than any country you can say in this world. So that is my advice for this our great country, great people.
Kichukuwo Jago, love your submission there. If we all start to do the right thing, maybe things will get better. It goes into say, if you're whatever you are from wherever level, do the right thing and things will change. We get to that point. Can we bring ourselves to that point where we all want to do the right thing from top to bottom? Remember that. From top to bottom. Hello, good morning.
Hello, my friend, sir. Good morning, sir.
Kundu Tekembe, good morning to you. Welcome.
Well done, my friend. So, yeah, good morning. Keep up the good work, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Hundu Tekembe. I'm calling from Nasarawa State. My friend, it has not been easy. It has not been easy. Even for the past 8 years of Buhari, it was very tough. And so we Nigerians were expecting some level of fresh air when the new administration comes in. And when the new government now comes in and the fresh air, is not there. So it has been very, very tough. But meanwhile, I want to attest to the fact that all the presidential candidates, they all said they were going to remove fuel subsidy to pave way for a new regime price, such that we are facing today. But one thing I would have expected is that if we take the patient to the hospital and the doctor needs to operate upon that patient, the patient must be given some injection that will make the patient to go to sleep before you operate on the patient to ameliorate the pain. But here are we, the fuel subsidy, the president said is gone and nothing is done to caution the effect. You see, a lot of Nigerians cannot cope. Like me talking here, it has been very, very tough. Many of my neighbors have parked their cars, my friends. And someone like me, I only take my car from my house to the junction where I park it and then enter motor to go to where I want to go. Because if we insist that you want to fill your car and go to wherever you want to go, you may not be able to eat in your house anymore. Because all your money will just go into buying of fuel. So it's so unfortunate. But in the other angle, my friends, I've been hearing since yesterday and today that the money that FACE always allocate, that share between federal government, state and local government, that the money has increased, has jumped up to about 140-something%. That is good news. That for the very first time, because of the removal of fuel subsidy, the state government, the federal government, and the local government, they are going to be sharing 1.9-something trillion. That's a good sum. It has never happened before, my prince. So we are expecting that when this money gets to our state and local government, let them begin to do things that will caution the effect, because the attention should not just be on the federal government. So I believe this time around, they're not going to just be getting peanuts. But from that 1.something trillion, they're going to be getting a lot of billions of naira. So let them do things that will caution the effect of this removal of fuel subsidy. And I also want to appeal to the authority concerned that those who are just who just woke up tomorrow and increase the price from 540 to 611, and even when you buy a liter is not even full. That's the one aspect, my prince. Even with this exorbitant price, if we go to the fuel station and buy 2 liter, it is not 2 liter. It shouldn't be so. Hence, they are selling fuel at this kind of price. Let them give us 2 liter. My prince, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, taking me. Two issues there. The fact that many people still want to shortchange other Nigerians, when they go to buy the fuel at this really exorbitant prices, is another issue. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to buy, was it last week or 2 weeks now? Yeah, the week before I traveled, I had gone to buy fuel just a day before I traveled. I had gone to buy fuel, and this fuel attendant was really smart, pretty very smart one of me. So before I could punch in the digits, my PIN on the POS, he had already started dispensing fuel. And in a few seconds, I was seeing 6 liters. I'm like, how? I mean, I was just going to type in, punch in my PIN, and 6 liters already. How did that happen? And he says, "Oh, God, you did not see it. I was showing you did not see it." I was like, "How? You did not even mention it." But please, Nigerians, let's like Ikechukwu Ojego said, let's do well. Let's do the right thing. Let's all find ways to assist each other. This is the time. This will be the time to do so. Again, on the FAC allocation, the 1.9 trillion naira that would be distributed or shared amongst the federal, states, and local governments. What would the states be doing with these monies? What would the states be doing with these monies? We have to ensure now this attention should shift to your states, because if your state is getting more revenue, then they should be doing more things for the people. They should be fixing. Also finding ways to create palliatives or provide palliatives for Nigerians, cushion the effects of subsidy removal. We hear that federal government is saying that minimum wage would be increased. Would the states agree to pay the new minimum wage, or would we have a situation where some states are paying 30,000 while some haven't even left the 18,000 naira point in the last 4 years? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. God bless you.
God, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, my name is Vincent Akono from Masaka.
Mr. Vincent, welcome.
Thank you for a good Thank you for a good job.
Thank you. How's it been for you?
The last question you are asked now is very, very important, because most of the time about the state, what are they doing with their money? We concentrate on at the federal level. What about the state? The greedy state that refuse to give local government financial autonomy. So if the state can come in, the federal government can come in, I think the effect of this fuel something may not be biting as much as this. But all of us are concentrating on the center. Besides, on the idea of when I listened to our radio station, somebody was saying that PDP and LP say they are going to remove subsidy. Yes, that is the truth. But let us not forget that in any of our action, in any of our action, there is what they call latent function of all that we do. That is the expected, the consequences of what we do, what we do and what we don't do. So what am I trying to say? It doesn't mean that removing subsidy is just the whole thing. But maybe the LP, the PDP, they would have handled it this way. Okay, they would have been able to know about the manifest function of their action and the latent function of their action. What is going to be the effect? Then they have to manage it. It is not the situation that matters, but how to manage the situation. But the present government has seen that they mismanage the situation. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been batting like this. Okay, look at the place I'm seeing now. One talk of Menua is 600 naira. From 200 to 600 naira. We can't buy, we can't do anything. We go to the market when we're paying Okada to the market. Thank God my business is not far from my house. I pay Okada before 100 and now I'm paying 250. So for the present government, they should see what they can do to see that this thing is done. They should have even got to something like all these buses are here. But if you go to Kubaro down, see Aero 5, they call it Aero 5 buses. Hundreds of them are there. They are lying down like that. If they have done it, it's okay. Let us go and repair these buses. State government have been the same thing. I think this would have been better. But you see, they didn't have vision. Just say something is gone. And the station assembly, especially the Senate and so on and so forth, I think they have to come in to monitor the activities of our marketers. Can't they have a representative abroad to know how much it costs to produce 1 liter of petrol there? They know how much they're adding. When they're talking about subsidy removal, we're saying that a liter of fuel will be 340 naira. if they remove subsidy, now 600 something naira. Eh? Why, how the astronomical increase coming? I know that the foreign exchange is rising, and so on and so forth. The exchange to the naira to the dollar is rising. So I don't know. I'm tired of this. People are dying. Families are balkanized. Mother against father, children against mother, and so on and so forth. Aggression everywhere. So God will bless you people for making us to see to know what is happening in this our country.
God bless you, Vincent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's talk about the borrowing to disburse and distribute to so-called quote unquote indigent Nigerians. The $800 million that was said to be for distribution to the poorest of the poor, the loans gotten from the World Bank, and the World Bank insisting that monies must be used for that purpose. It would not be used for anything that's got to do with infrastructural development. It would not be used to pay salaries. It would be going to social investment. Meanwhile, by our laws, we're not supposed to be borrowing to even pay salaries. If we're borrowing, we should be borrowing to build infrastructure. Now, how many of you remember SAP, Structural Adjustment Program, in 1986? Recall that at the time, the IMF and World Bank had advised Nigeria to devalue the naira every week for about 32 years. I remember how the former Minister of Agriculture, Aldogbe, was talking about, that and saying that was the problem. That was the first time, that was the beginning of Nigeria's problems. So how come today we're still taking advice from the same World Bank and IMF and the same people, and they're still telling us that we must borrow or we should borrow? Monies that we're borrowing should not be used for infrastructure, but it must go to, what do you call it now? Social investments, giving monies to people who we don't know, to ghosts whose names are on the register that Nigerians do not see. The social investment register, whose names are there? Do you have your name on the Nigerian social investment register? Have you ever collected monies? Again, I'm asking, if you have ever collected this money, please come out and say, because it's been Nigerians have accused government too much. Maybe it's time that you begin to speak up and say, look, I've collected this money. Or you people should stop attacking government or stop saying that people do not collect this money. At least come out and say something. If you've been collecting this, it would be unfair to the people who have been giving you these monies if you keep denying them. Come out and say, oh, I have been collecting these 5,000 naira for the last 1 year or in the last 6 months. Come out, speak up. Let Nigerians know that at least the monies are not going into private pockets or people who claim to be disbursing these monies. Speak up. Vindicate the people who have been giving you these monies if you've been collecting them. Why don't we look inwards and customize our own solutions to our problems? These problems are ours. We should not be looking to textbooks and looking to the outside world to fix these problems for us. Imagine borrowing money from somebody and the person tells you what to do with the money. So why did you borrow the money in the first place? I have a problem that I want to solve, and I decide, oh, my friend should borrow me the money. And he says, no, that's your problem that you want to solve with my money. You will not use my money to solve that problem. You use it to do another thing. I'm going to give you this money, but you will not use it to solve that problem that you have. What sense does it make? And then you end up and you still go ahead to collect the money. And when you collect the money, you put it in something else. Nigerians have been lamenting, let's fix our refineries. At least have one refinery working. We vote billions of dollars to fix refineries or do turnaround maintenance. At the end of the day, it goes down the drain. And even when we want to borrow money, we go and borrow money to dash people. Who borrows monies to give handouts? Let's be smart. Let's really think about these things. And it's not enough for us to keep saying, God help us, God help us. We need to help ourselves as a nation. We need to help ourselves as a people. This is where we'd have to drop the anchors this morning. A big thank you to everyone who's been a part of it. And Martha is in the studio. Martha, how are you?
I'm good.
I like your hair.
Oh, thank you.
That money,
He's weak. He's weak. He's weak. He's weak. Oh, let me say it. He's weak. He's weak. He's weak.
Because I say you have money.
Bam, 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 bam. There's no money anywhere. Money is not circulating anywhere.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm great.
How was it getting here this morning?
The road is dry.
Jeez.
Transportation is on and